What's up, Broncos Country? Listen up, Broncos Country. What's happening right now could completely change our trajectory in the playoffs. You won't believe what the experts are saying about this week's matchup. We've got hot information fresh off the press, deep analysis of our offense, our defense, and especially how we're going to dominate this game. But hold on, because what I'm about to reveal here will make you understand exactly where we stand in the playoff race and why this game is absolutely crucial. Stay with me until the end because the bomb is about to drop. Denver Broncos family, the time has come to talk about one of the most important games of this season. We're talking about a direct confrontation that could seal our destiny, that could take us even closer to that playoff spot we've all been dreaming about since the beginning of the season. And look, this isn't just any game. This is one of those matchups where every yard gained, every tackle, every completed pass will make a difference down the road. Let's get straight to the point, Broncos Country. The Broncos are coming into this game with a record that's making a lot of people pay attention. We're talking about a team that found its identity, that discovered how to win tough games, that learned to struggle but also to celebrate. And now, against the Jaguars, we have another opportunity to show we're not here to play around. But check out the situation with our opponents this week. The Jaguars are going through a very complicated moment. They're coming off consecutive losses that completely shook the locker room's confidence. We're talking about a team that started the season with hopes, but now is watching everything crumble right before their eyes. And, family, when a team is in that situation, either they react with everything they've got, or they simply give up the points. And guess which scenario is more likely when they face our ferocious defense? Now comes the part that's going to get you pumped. The odds for this game are absolutely favorable for the Broncos. The betting experts, those guys who study every detail, every statistic, every trend, are placing our team as a significant favorite in this matchup. We're talking about a spread that clearly shows the difference in momentum between the two teams. But that's not all, family. The most impressive thing is seeing how our recent performance completely justifies these expectations. Let's talk about our quarterback now. This young man has been nothing less than spectacular in recent weeks. He's making smart decisions, he's protecting the ball, he's distributing passes with surgical precision. And most importantly, he's leading this team with the maturity of a veteran. Every game that passes, he shows it's not luck, it's not coincidence, it's pure talent, it's hard work, it's total dedication to the game. And against a Jaguars defense that's bleeding yards through the air, you can imagine what's going to happen. On the other side, the Jaguars have a quarterback who's trying to hold together an offense that simply can't find rhythm. He's got talent, nobody can deny that. But talent alone doesn't win games when you don't have protection, when your receivers aren't getting open, when the offensive line is being dominated game after game. And guess who's going to be on the other side ready to cause pressure all game long? Our monstrous defensive line, Denver Broncos family. Speaking of defense, let's talk about what really matters in this game. Our defense isn't good, it's dominant. We're talking about a unit that suffocates the running game, that pressures the quarterback without mercy, that turns third downs into automatic punts. The numbers don't lie, Broncos Country. We're among the best defenses in the league in practically every statistic that matters. Yards allowed per game? Excellent. Points allowed? Even better. Opponents' third down conversion rate? Simply frustrating for those who play against us. And now, look at the Jaguars' offensive situation. They've got serious problems on the offensive line. Injuries, poor performance, lack of cohesion. All of this together creates a perfect storm for what our defensive line does best, which is cause chaos in the opponent's backfield. We're talking about sacks, pressures, negative runs, the kind of game that breaks any offense's confidence. But family, we can't underestimate anyone. This is the NFL, where any team can win on any Sunday. The Jaguars might be in a bad phase, but they have talented players who can explode at any moment. A receiver who can turn any short pass into a touchdown. A running back who, when he finds space, can run to the end of the field. That's why our team needs to be focused from the first to the last snap. What's up, Broncos country? Are you feeling this energy? Because I'm feeling this game could be that defining moment of our season. Now let's talk about betting trends, because this says a lot about how the public and experts are viewing this matchup. The overwhelming majority of money is going on the Broncos, not just to win, but to cover the spread with room to spare. We're talking about massive confidence in our ability to dominate this game from start to finish. And it's not just blind confidence, family. It's based on concrete data, on recent performances, on favorable matchups in practically every position. The projected point total for this game also tells an interesting narrative. Analysts expect a game where our defense will control the pace, where we'll force the Jaguars to play the way we want. Slow, methodical game where every possession counts. And when you have a dominant defense and an efficient offense, that type of game is exactly where you want to be. Let's talk now about the home field factor. Playing at Mile High is an advantage that can't be ignored. The altitude, the fervent crowd, the intimidating atmosphere. All of this weighs. Denver Broncos family. Visitors come here and simply can't play at the same level they play at home. They tire faster, make more mistakes, feel the pressure of an entire stadium screaming against them. And the Jaguars, coming from a losing streak, will feel every scream, every moment of pressure. Our ground attack also deserves attention in this analysis. We're managing to establish the running game consistently, opening space for our running backs to do what they do best. And when you can run well, everything becomes easier. The play action works better, you control the clock, you wear down the opponent's defense. And against a Jaguars defense that has difficulties against the run, we can expect big performances from our runners. And there's more Broncos country. Our offensive line is playing the best football of the season in recent weeks. They're creating huge holes for the running game. They're giving time for our quarterback to make his reads. They're physically dominating opposing defensive lines. This type of physical domination is what wins playoff games. It's what separates good teams from great teams. Now let me talk about an aspect that doesn't show up in statistics, but makes all the difference. Momentum, moment, confidence, whatever you want to call it. Our team is playing with that energy of knowing they can beat anyone. Every victory increases that confidence. Every well-played game solidifies the belief that this year is special. And the Jaguars, they're on the opposite side of that coin. Every loss erodes confidence a little more. Every mistake seems bigger than it really is. Denver Broncos family, you know what happens when a confident team faces a team in crisis? Domination happens. That type of game happens where from the first quarter you already feel who's going to win, and all the analyses, all the trends, all the numbers point in that direction. But let's talk about scenarios too. If our offense starts strong, scoring right on the first drive, the pressure on the Jaguars will be immense. They'll have to open up the game, they'll have to risk more passes, they'll have to leave their comfort zone. And when a team with problems on the offensive line has to play desperately against our pass rush, you know what happens. Sacks, turnovers, short field for our offense. It's a recipe for dominant victory. Now, if the game starts more choppy, more contested, we still have all the advantages. Our defense will tire their offense, our running game will control the clock, and in the fourth quarter, we'll be fresh while they'll be exhausted. It's the type of game we've won in recent weeks. That ugly but efficient game where you don't need to be spectacular, you just need to be better than the opponent in every aspect. The Broncos receivers are also in great form. They're catching contested balls. They're running precise routes. They're creating separation. And against a Jaguars secondary that has been vulnerable, we can expect big plays through the air too. Those long-distance connections that completely change the game, that demoralize the opponent's defense. Look, if you're enjoying this deep analysis, if you're true Broncos country and want to stay on top of everything happening with our team, then hit that subscribe button now, because here we don't just bring news, we bring analysis, emotion, passion for the Broncos. Subscribe, activate the bell, and be part of this family that breathes football and bleeds orange and blue. Let's talk now about an important tactical aspect. The defensive scheme we use is perfect to neutralize the Jaguars' main offensive weapons. Our linebackers are fast enough to cover running backs in the passing game. Our defensive backs are physical enough to challenge receivers at the line of scrimmage. It's a scheme that creates problems for any offensive coordinator, but especially for one who's already dealing with talent limitations and injuries. On special teams, another advantage for the Broncos. Our kicker is confident, hitting important field goals. Our punter is flipping the field when necessary. And our return game has been solid, giving good field position for our offense to start drives. It might seem like a detail, but these three aspects of the game can make a huge difference in the final score. And there's a statistic that needs to be highlighted: Broncos country. Our turnover differential in recent weeks has been extremely positive. We're forcing turnovers and protecting the ball. This is the type of statistic that correlates directly with wins. Teams that win the turnover battle generally win the game. And against a Jaguars team that has committed costly errors, we can expect a few more takeaways for our side. The game management of our coaching staff has also been impeccable. Smart decisions in crucial moments, adequate halftime adjustments, ability to read the game and make necessary changes. That's experience, that's competence, that's having a plan but also knowing when to adapt. And comparing with the Jaguars' coaching staff that has been questioned recently, another significant advantage for our side. Family, let's talk about roster depth too. When you look bench against bench, the Broncos have a clear advantage. If we need to make substitutions due to injury or strategy, we have players ready to come in and maintain the level of play. The Jaguars, they're already dealing with important injuries, and their bench simply doesn't have the same quality. This depth can be decisive, especially in the second half, when fatigue starts to show. Now think with me, Broncos country. We're in December, entering the final stretch of the season. Every game is practically a playoff. There's no more room for error, no more time for slipping. It's win or watch playoff dreams slip through your fingers. And our team knows this. You see it in the players' eyes. You feel it in the intensity of practices. You notice it in the way they talk about every game. This team is focused, determined, ready to do whatever is necessary. The Jaguars also know their season is practically over. They're playing more for pride than for concrete playoff objectives. And look, playing for pride is beautiful, but it's not the same as playing with everything on the line. The intensity is different. The urgency is different. The execution ends up being different. Let's analyze matchup by matchup now. Our defensive line against their offensive line, huge advantage for the Broncos. Our linebackers against their running backs, advantage Broncos. Our secondary against their receivers, advantage Broncos. On the other side, our offensive line against their defensive line also favors the Broncos. Our receivers against their secondary, another one for our side. It's hard to find an individual matchup where the Jaguars have a clear advantage. And there's the intangible factor too. Denver Broncos family, that thing you can't measure, that doesn't show up in statistics. It's team chemistry, it's playing for each other, it's believing in the guy next to you. Our locker room is united, strong, focused on a common goal. You see this in the way they celebrate together, how they support each other in difficult moments, how they talk about the team always using we and not I. This type of unity is what builds championship teams. Look at the injury situation too. Our team is relatively healthy going into this game. Of course, there are always some guys on the injury report, but nothing that significantly compromises our ability to play at the highest level. The Jaguars, they have important players questionable, people playing hurt, an injured reserve list that seems endless. This affects not only the available talent, but also the ability to execute the complete game plan. Let's talk about adjustments, too. Our coaching staff has shown impressive ability to make in-game adjustments. If something isn't working, they change. If they see a weakness in the opponent's defense, they exploit it. This flexibility is crucial in the modern NFL, where the game is as tactical as it is physical. And the Jaguars have been slow to make adjustments, have been predictable in their calls, have been exploited by teams with smart coordinators. And guess what we have? The preparation for this game also favors the Broncos. Our team comes from a focused week of preparation, studying film, identifying tendencies, preparing the perfect game plan. The Jaguars come from a tumultuous week, dealing with media criticism, fan pressure, questions about the future of players and coaches. It's hard to prepare well for a game when there's so much noise around. Broncos country, can you feel what's forming here? It's a perfect storm. A team on the rise against a team in free fall. A team playing at home with everything on the line against a visiting team practically eliminated. A dominant defense against a limited offense. An efficient offense against a vulnerable defense. All the ingredients are there for a convincing victory. And look, I'm not talking about winning by a field goal in the last second. I'm not talking about a sweaty game until the end. I'm talking about domination. I'm talking about setting the tone from the first snap and not taking the foot off the gas. I'm talking about sending a message to the entire AFC that the Broncos are back, that we're no longer that team people can underestimate. The experts' confidence isn't based on guesswork, family. It's based on deep analysis of every aspect of the game. They looked at offensive numbers, defensive numbers, recent trends, individual matchups. They considered home field factor, considered each team's situation in the standings, considered the psychological moment, and everything points in the same direction. But you know what's most impressive? It's that even with all these advantages, our team isn't relaxing. They know they haven't won anything yet. They know they need to go out there and execute. They know that in the NFL, any team can surprise you if you're not prepared. And this mentality, this humility combined with confidence, is exactly what you want to see from your team. Think about the impact a dominant victory here can have, Broncos country. It's not just the 3 points in the standings. It's the confidence boost. It's showing the next opponents that a tough game is coming. It's consolidating our position in the playoffs. It's building momentum for the final stretch. A victory here isn't just a victory, it's a statement. And on the other side, the Jaguars are trying to prevent the season from becoming a complete disaster. But when you're in that negative spiral, sometimes it's hard to find the way back. Every lost game makes the next one psychologically harder. And coming to play in Denver, at altitude, against a team desperate for wins, it's the type of challenge that can completely break an already fragile team. Our crowd will be the 12th player in this game, Denver Broncos family. Every defensive third down, every crucial moment, the entire stadium will be roaring. It'll be impossible for their quarterback to communicate on audibles. It'll be intimidating for their young players who've never experienced that atmosphere. It'll be pure energy for our players who will feel all that support. Look at how the different scoring scenarios favor the Broncos. If it's a high-scoring game, our offense has shown it can score. If it's a low-scoring game, our defense ensures we'll be ahead. If it's a balanced game in the first half, our roster depth and physical conditioning guarantee will dominate the second half. There's no bad scenario for the Broncos in this matchup. The experience of some of our veterans will also make a difference. They've played important games. They've felt the pressure of needing to win. They know how to stay calm, how to execute under pressure, how to lead by example. The Jaguars have a young team that's still learning to win in the NFL. This difference in experience in crucial moments can be decisive. And family, let's be honest. This is exactly the type of game the Broncos need to win. It's not against a contender. It's not against a playoff team. It's against an opponent that's struggling, that's vulnerable. These are the games that playoff teams can't let slip away. And our team knows this. They know there's no excuse not to come out of this game with a victory. The numbers projected by computer models also heavily favor the Broncos. These algorithms consider thousands of variables, simulate the game thousands of times, and the vast majority of simulations end with a Broncos victory. And it's not just victory, it's comfortable victory, covering the spread with plenty of room. So Broncos country, what's the conclusion of all this? The conclusion is that we have all the conditions for a big victory. We have the better team, the better momentum, the better matchup, the better situation. Everything is aligned. Now it's execute, do what was trained all week, play 48 minutes of dominant football. So, Denver Broncos family, are you ready to see our team do what needs to be done? Are you ready for that feeling of seeing a victory built the right way? I'm more than ready. I'm anxious to see our defense causing havoc, our offense moving the ball efficiently, our special teams winning the field position battle. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. This is that game where everything we built during the season manifests in dominant performance. This is the game where we show the Broncos are back to stay. And family, I believe. I believe in this team. I believe in this coaching staff. I believe in every player who will wear that orange and blue uniform. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the score going to be? How many sacks will our defense get? Who will be the MVP of the game for our side? Comment below with your predictions, your expectations, what you're most anxious to see in this matchup, and don't forget to leave that, like if you're also confident in this victory. Share with that friend who's true Broncos country, who wakes up early every Sunday to watch the games, who lives and breathes football. Denver Broncos family, the ball will roll, and when it rolls, our team will be ready to dominate, ready to win, ready to take another step toward the playoffs. Until the next video, and let's go Broncos!